yeah, this is Charlotte for GamerCast.net. I've not done any videos lately, but I haven't really gotten anything. However, I think it was about 3 weeks ago, might have even been longer, we came back from Japan. So after last year, I bought a lot of stuff. I made a massive video, so I've got the same for you guys again. Maybe not so much stuff this year, but I still bought quite a lot. So yeah, I guess I'll show you. I'll also, some of them I'll mention how much I pay for them, because a lot of stuff I got obviously really nice and cheap. Especially, I went to a really good flea market this year. Well, we went to a really good flea market this year. Loads of stuff for ridiculously cheap, so that was loads of fun. I haven't had the chance to play very much of most of it yet, or I have on some, but also behind me I've got the lovely Wario's Woods playing on the Famicom on my lovely Trinitron TV. There we go. Its sound may come and go. It's a bit old and broken. Okay, so to start with, I guess I'll just go over, we went out to a hard off again this year, the same one we went to last year. I didn't get very much from there, however I did get something that I have wanted for some time. So from there I got one of these. I couldn't say no to this. Unfortunately it doesn't have the controller. This is a Spice Orange GameCube. This particular colour was only released in Japan. They're like really common over there, so common. This cost me, I think it was about £6. It came with all the cables, just no controller, which is a shame because the controllers seem to be worth more because people want them. And I missed my chance to get a controller, so unfortunately for the time being I've just got the GameCube. But for £6, yeah, super cheap. It was like, yeah, it was like about 1,000 yen. Maybe it was £8 actually. 1,600 I think it was. Really, really cheap. Like, I bought games for more than that, so. From the same hard off, I bought one of these. I really wanted to get one of these last year, but I didn't in the end. In fact, let me take that one. Lovely PC Engine. The first model, the coolest model, because this original model of the PC Engine was released the day before we were born, so that's really cool. So it's pretty much the same age as me, which is very odd. What was a nice bonus was with it, they had an AV booster attached. This means that you don't have to faff around with trying to get the PC Engine working on your TV, although my TV does support the Famicom's frequency, so I think that the PC Engine would actually be fine as well. But it's just nice to use, so it means that I get a slightly better picture as well. Unfortunately it does mean that there is no expansion cover, but oh well. With that there was the controller, although the controller seems to have a problem, and obviously all the cables and that as well. So that was nice. That was 7,000 yen, so I think that's just shy of about £30. Considering I couldn't find one last year that was cheap enough, I thought that 7,000 yen was okay, so I got one of those finally. Also from the book off, I'm trying to think what else I got from there. Some other stuff that I showed might be from there. Oh no, that was from there, wasn't it? I didn't pick up that many games. I can't remember the name of this dude. No, okay. Is a long-running series in Japan. It's like a yokai kind of series. Quite dark. That was only 500 yen, 540 yen, so that was like a couple of pounds for a box game, so that's not too bad. These are also platformers, so I can play that game. Also from there I got a copy of, I can't remember which one Catherine said this was. It might be We Love. It might be We Love Katamari. That was only 100 yen, so yeah, I bought that. It's super cute with its manual. Its manual is really, really cute. Let's get that out. Like a little fox all over it. That's a very cute manual. So yeah, that was 100 yen. I also picked this up. I have no idea what this is and I still haven't played it. But it's a virtual music adventure. Tomoyashi Hotei Stolen Song. It looks like a FMV style game. This was 200 yen, so that was like £1. So that's not too bad. I'm pretty sure that was all I got. And then I also went back and got this. This was one of the Wavejack games. This is like Princess something. So these, I kind of like the idea of these, although I don't think they really hit it off. So the idea behind these games was that it was like multimedia gaming. So it's a Famicom disk system game. I have I can't remember what it's called. I've got one of the others in this series, but it's based on an anime, and for the life of me I can't remember what the anime is. So with it you get a map which you're obviously supposed to fill in. There's also a poster on the other side. And then the idea is that she's gone missing, I guess. So this is your manual. Wow, which is very colourful. Nice little manual. Then there is an investigation book, which we're supposed to fill in as well. It's not been filled in, which is nice. It's got like AM and PM and the day. Then you've got the game. And then the coolest bit, which is a cassette tape. So my other game that I've got, which is in this series, didn't have the cassette tape. And so you're supposed to listen to the tape, play the game, investigate. And that's kind of cool, right? I like the idea of it. That was, I think that was the same, that was about 500 yen, so like a couple of pounds, so it's not too much. I may have bought, I bought this from there as well actually, did I? Yeah, I got Cave Noir. Cave Noir. That was 300 yen, so that's like £1.50. That was from the hard off. There might be some other stuff here. I'm not sure if I got this from the hard off. I think I might have. So last year I got an e-reader. They had this year they had the Animal Crossing e-reader game, which is like e-reader. Comes with the link cable for the Game Boy Advance. The game itself. I'm not sure what you use the e-reader cards for it though. And then it comes with a selection of e-reader cards. And then I've also got, from the looks of it, a manhole and something to do with Pokemon, or maybe some teams. I'm not sure what these work with. They seem to work with Ruby and Sapphire, and they've got like teams on the back. They're like trainers. Those are kind of cute. Picked up something related to these today as well, while I was out and about. I think that was similar. That was a similar price, maybe 700 yen, I think. So still not very much. 700 yen is, I guess, closer to say a fiver, £4 or £5. And of course that's a nice game to go with my GameCube. I've already got a Japanese GameCube, of course, but I can try my GameCube. I haven't actually tested the GameCube yet. Played on the PC Engine, but not the GameCube. What next? We went to a few book-offs as usual. Got a few nice games in them. From the book off. Oh, you were from the hard off actually. You were from the book off. You were from there. Yeah, but you were from there as well. You're not. You were. got a bit of a mix of things. There's a couple here that are actually from the hard off. So there are some nice games here though. Picked up a copy of Son Son, which is an old Capcom game. You get it in the Capcom Generations game if you played it. That was 500 yen, so like £3. I can't even remember what this is now. Hudson Soft and Momo. Chiara. Yeah. Indiana Jonesy style game, but not Pitfall. I'm not sure if I actually bought this last year. This is another cutesy Sanrio game. That was £2.50. That was £2.50 as well. So those two were about £1 each. Gojira. Couldn't say no to that for 500 yen. I'm not sure what the Godzilla game is on the Famicom. Hopefully it's a cool one. But 500 yen, so that's again like £3. Picked up a copy of Goemon 2. Picked up the first one last year. That was 500 yen as well. So this was from a different book off. Copy of Zoids. I think she charged me 200 yen for that or something. This I actually got in the hard off, because I do like picking up memory cards, and this one had the Biohazard 2 sticker on, so I thought that was kind of cute. It says Ui. Oh, I can't remember what that says. It's got stuff all over it. I got this actually in the hard off as well. Hermie Hopperhead. I thought that looked pretty cute. Kind of a 3D sprite, 2D platformer. Hadn't heard of it before. I thought, well, I know it's terrible. Picked up some disc system games as well. So Kid Icarus, 950, so slightly more. So that's more like £6-7. Well, more like £6. Because it's got the piece of card as well, that means it should be original. It's not like one that's been taken into a shop and then loaded on. Oh, I can't remember what this is called now. Something about a castle. This is actually on WiiWare, or Wii Uware, or whatever they call it, a virtual console. Again, that was similar price. And then I got this, The Adventures of Chatran. There's a cat on the front. I bought it for the cat. That was only 500 yen though, so it was only a couple of pound. Also, I picked this up. I can't remember what the condition of it was like. So, Clock Tower, the first Fear. Clock Tower is a specially fan book. It comes in a nice sleeve. And then, I'm not sure what that is. That can't be the manual. Oh, it's like a little comic and stuff. And then there's the manual in there as well. And there is like the sleeve and everything in there. That wasn't too expensive. That was the same. It was about 500 yen, so a couple of pound. I do like the Clock Tower series. I remember the first one freaking me out as a kid. Also picked this up. I think this was 100 yen. Crime Crackers. That looks pretty cute. It's like is it a shooter? Yeah, it's like a first person, I think. Again, it's one that I just picked up because I thought, you know what, this looks really cute. Oh, and what was really good about it as well is it still has the stickers for memory cards. So that's really nice, for only 100 yen as well. Whenever I buy stuff in Japan, I kind of, either I've known about it already, or if it looks cute, then I buy it. And once I've made sure it's not like a Mahjong game or a Pachinko game. I also got this. This I kind of was a bit of a expenditure, I guess. Zelda, the original adventure, or the Hyrule Fantasy. That was about £20. So I guess, I think it was about 5,000 yen. It's got everything in there as well, including the map. Although it's way too chunky. It's really nice as well because the cart is, it's not really green, it's more like a turquoise. Lovely little manual. And the map, which is in a far better state than the map we've got just over there. Well, I say that, it's not really. I think that one's maybe fallen apart, whereas this one is almost fallen apart. Unfortunately, these never come, well, unless you're really lucky, they're never not in a bad state. But you know, for £20, I kind of wanted it, you know. And I've not seen it boxed before. At least when we've gone to Japan, I've never seen it. So I thought Zelda is usually expensive in Japan. So I thought, what the hell, let's just buy it. Couple extra purchases as well from a few other shops. Went to Trader again this year. Didn't buy it as much as last year. So I got Doughboy for $2.78 and Adventure Island 2? No, 1. Again, that was $2.78, so it was only just over £1, so it's not very expensive. We went to a what do you call it? Mandarake. We went to the Mandarake in Osaka. It's just opposite the capsule hotel that we were staying in. And they had quite a few Yokai games, so I picked a few up. This is ESP? No, what was it? Unfortunately, the problem with the PC Engine's pad is that the down button doesn't work. So I got to a screen on this game where I had to go down a ladder, so I couldn't play anymore. Got War of the Dead. I still haven't actually played this one yet. This was actually quite expensive. This was about just under a tenner, so a bit more expensive than the games I've played. But Hardcore Gaming, is it Hardcore Gaming 101 or Hardcore Gamer website, had recommended it as a kind of unknown PC Engine game. So also picked up a copy of Cybercore. This is actually quite a nice shmup. Unfortunately, shmups require you to move up and down and all around, so I got to a point where I just couldn't really do anything. I think it was at a boss, because I had to move up to dodge and then I couldn't move back down. So the other two weren't too expensive. It was only War of the Dead that was quite expensive from there. I think that was everything I got from there. We went to Super Potato as well this year. I didn't get anything quite as cool as my Mario box from last year. All I actually bought was a copy of Switch. I wanted a copy of this, either on the Sega CD or the Mega CD, I didn't mind which. It was only 380 yen though. It's got lovely box art. This is a really weird sort of, no, I don't know how to describe it. It's weird. I think in the US it's called Panic. I think it's called Panic. But 380 yen, so that was about £1 something. And that was all I bought from there. I did hope that they would have Pepsi Man. However, he looked in the cabinet and he knew that they would usually put him in the cabinet because it's an expensive game and they didn't have him copy anymore. Popped to Friends again this year. Last year I bought a really nice rack for my Famicom and disk system, which I still use. This year I only bought a couple of things. One of them was Turok, which is called, I think it's Dinosaur Killer in Japan. It's in really nice condition. This was only 500 yen, so not very expensive. Oh, I didn't say it. The cart for Turok 2 is the best one because that doesn't look anything like Turok, and I think it does call it something like Dinosaur Killer. So that wasn't too bad for a couple of £. And then I splashed out on this. This was 5,000 yen, so this was about £20 odd. This is Torchic and Pikachu Game Boy Advance from the Pokemon Center. So this is really nice. Unfortunately, it does have a scratch just here. You probably won't be able to see it, but on the back it says Pokemon Center. That wasn't too expensive. I mean, if you want one on eBay, they're about the same price, maybe £30. Which was really nice to get, and it's kind of a shiny blue. I think there was two released at the same time. One was a shiny green, and the other one was with a Celebi on, and then this one was a shiny blue, but it's got a Torchic on. It's quite nice. Couple of other random bits. One thing I really wanted to get this year, and I did, was a copy of Yokai Watch. So I'd been watching episodes of this just before we went. Last year when we went to Japan, this was massive. Yokai Watch was all over the place. I mean, technically it still is. I managed to track down a copy of the DS game for 500 yen, which is a couple of pounds. Everywhere else it was at least £6, so I thought that was really cool, and I've been playing that. Obviously this is now released in America, however they've butchered everything in it, so it's kind of lost its charm, and pretty much most of the Japanese mythology and like creatures that it centers around. But that's so cool. Obviously this is a 3DS game, and 3DSs are region locked, so in order to play it I also bought a nice DS. So I didn't really look around too much, and then they had this in a I think it was in a trader. It was only £60, and this this version didn't come out in anywhere outside of Japan. The only thing, of course, is the copy of Curtain Call that this is supposed to come with is usually a like a downloadable version as opposed to a box game, because obviously they stopped putting box games into these packs. So unfortunately it didn't have the game on it, but it's still a very, very nice DS. I'll just show you it here in my lovely Yokai Watch DS case, which I bought from a Toys R Us in Japan. I also have a nice little Yokai Watch like dusty sleeve to go with it. I got that from a flea market. But yeah, this design is really nice. So it has all the Final Fantasy characters on the front. I don't know if you can see, but there's symbols in grey, and then the background is in dark, and then on the back it's got a nice little chocobo. It says Final Fantasy as well. It's a really nice design. It's a nice colour as well. And I think he'd said to me that it was slightly cheaper because there was a scratch on the screen, and he spent like 5 minutes trying to find it and then just pointed at it, and it's like, you know, that's fine. I really don't mind, because it was very cheap. At least as far as I'm concerned, it was very cheap. Another strange pickup that I got, I picked up some Game Boy printing paper. This was in a shop in Asakusa. They had it up on a shelf, and the guy was very confused to what it was, and they actually gave me a discount. I think they only charged me 250 yen for it. It's never been used. So yeah, that was like £1. Then we, so on one of the days we went to a flea market. This was a flea market at the Oi racecourse by Tokyo Bay, I think it is. This is a huge flea market. Now, when we went last year, we went to one flea market. It had about 7 stalls. This is like a proper flea market, like some of the larger breed sales that we have in the UK, and I think that their maximum capacity is 400 stalls. When we went there must have been 200 to 300 at least, and everyone just wants to sell everything, which is fantastic. Whereas over here you find it's not that people seem to want to sell anything, they just want to try and get as much money for things, which I know may not feel as it's fair, but if you want to charge an eBay price, then why don't you put it on eBay? So I got some really cool stuff from this this flea market. I'll go through some of the bits. This I bought from one guy. Boulder Dash did come out. I'm not sure if it came out in the UK. It came out in America. I know that at least. Boulder Dash is a brilliant game. I really love it. And look at how cute he looks with the little wasp behind him as well. That was, I think, 400 yen from a guy that had loads of like nicely packaged games. I looked back at, I'm uploading a flea market video as well of me going around the flea market, and he actually had a really nice copy of A Link to the Past as well, and it was only £6, and I kind of feel I should have bought it now, but that was only like £2. Went to a few people's stalls. I got this at one for 100 yen. I didn't realise that IQ, or Kurushi as it's known in the UK, had a release on PS2. And this comes with, I think, Kurushi Final, and then it also has like a, oh, even more as well. Where did that come from? I don't remember buying that. Oh, of course. Yeah, so that's cool. I really like Kurushi, or Intelligent Cube as it's known in the UK, in Japan. That was only 100 yen. So a lot of things at the flea markets are 100 yen. You ask them, "Ikuda desu ka?" and they tell you "hyaku en desu." So let's get to those hyaku en. Bought quite a few Game Boy games at this flea market. That was with that one. Went to one stall. Guy had quite a few Game Boy games. None that I was particularly interested in. But I asked him how much. He said hyaku en. So I got a nice copy of Super Mario Land. The label is slightly different to the normal version in the UK. Yoshi. This is a Link one as well. Puzzle, Yoshi puzzle. Wario Land 2. It's kind of dark. And Parodius. I actually bought Parodius last year, but I couldn't say no for this for 100 yen. So those were 100 yen each, so that was 400 yen there. Another guy's stall. Is that all I bought from that guy? I think. So the thing that confuses me is I actually still have some stuff waiting to come from Japan. I sent it on Surface, which is when they send it in a boat. So that might come by December, who knows. But two things that I bought from him. From his 100 yen box, I got a nice Horipad PS. This isn't a commander or anything like that. It's literally just a Horipad. I imagine the D-pad's supposed to be nicer. That was only 100 yen. It's nice and skeleton-y. And then also from him I got a Zero Tech, which looks like it's it kind of looks like the RC to Go kind of controller. This again is a Hori, bit of a strange one. Looks kind of like an RC controller. Again, it was only 100 yen, and it's kind of bulky, but at the same time I really like Hori controllers, so I thought for 100 yen it's like, does 50p, so you know, definitely worth it. So another lady, I got the Simple Series Taxi. So this is basically like Crazy Taxi but for the PS2. Tim then also picked me up a copy of the Taxi 2, so that's the second one in the series. Went to another stall and found these three. It was really strange because he had a lot of like antiques and stuff, so I thought these were going to be expensive, and when I asked him he said 100 yen. So I got, is it Pokemon Puzzle League? And then Sapphire, Ruby, and Emerald. So those were all 100 yen each. So that 300 yen. I bought this as well from a guy. So I paid a bit more than I would have wanted at a flea market, and I haven't actually tried it yet. But in fairness, I could just tidy up the face here, and it would still be nice. I got an R7 Regulation 7 Dreamcast with a copy of Magic the Gathering, which is a bit strange. So these are quite, well, not rare, but they're quite expensive usually. I paid him, I think, 3,500, which is about £17. Dreamcast failure rates can be a bit here and there. I've had, I think, only one that I've bought that hasn't worked. So fingers crossed this does work, because then it'll be a nice addition to the collection. Unfortunately, it didn't come with the controller or any cables at all. It was just literally the console. So fingers crossed. I'll probably. The problem is obviously getting the right cables. Then there was a best stool there. So I picked up, I think, 1,000 yen's worth of stuff from this guy. I did get 3 other games though, which I gave to a friend at work, because he said that he'd love if I could find him the Pokemon games, just maybe one of them. Actually, he wanted green, that was it. This guy had green, red and blue, so I picked them all up. As usual, everything was 100 yen. So I got a copy of silver, red, crystal. I don't think these were both, oh actually, well, blue, because I don't have a copy of blue myself. The same with the red actually. I've got a copy of green, I got one last year. So that's what, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, maybe I did get a couple. Picked up this as well, who knows if this works. This has got a copy of Dig Dug 2 and Yokai? I don't know. Something else. Then there was the 3 other Pokemon games that I gave someone else. Then there must have been a couple more things. And then he picked up a box and started throwing things on the floor saying service. So he threw in a copy of red, and I was even more confused when he threw down a Game Boy Pocket, a DSi and an original DS. So that was a weird experience. I had to make sure that what I thought he was doing, he was actually doing, and I was like, what are these? And he's like, they're yours. So that was very strange. He did have a lot of things like DS's and stuff like that. Most of them were probably like broken. But after trying it, the Game Boy Pocket's okay. It's obviously missing the screen cover. Other than that, all it has is a dead pixel line like straight through the middle, but it was free. The original DS works absolutely fine. The screen is in fact probably better than my one. Even came with the stylus. This was free. The only thing with it is that there's no real reason to have an original DS because none of the games, to my knowledge, were region locked. So, but it's not bad for a free DS. This one, not quite so lucky. It came in a horrible hard case, which was all rusted up. Didn't have a stylus. You won't be able to see, but one of the pins is gone in the DS slot. It needs to be like, well, I think it's like 3 of the pins have gone funny. And the Game Boy Advance slot does work, however, the top screen does not work, so something's gone wrong with the connectors in here. The bottom screen does work though, so you can swap it down, as someone informed me on the internet. Yeah, and so I spent like 1,000 yen at this guy's store, which is like £6. It's not very much. And he threw in a DS, a Game Boy, and like, oh yeah, a bunch of games. So that guy was super nice. No one else gave me free stuff, however, I didn't really mind. I bought a lot more of other things as well, like mainly like some non-game related stuff. But that was like the best flea market I've ever been to, and I kind of want to go back just for the flea market. I felt really bad because Catherine didn't get to go because she wasn't in Japan at the time. She didn't come and join us until later on in the trip, because she would have loved it there as well. I think pretty much like 70% of the stuff there is just 100 yen. Everyone just wants to get rid of everything that they have. Oh, in fact, oh, he's not around. I did pick up a really cute Dr. Robotnik money bank, and he's supposed to talk when you put the money in. No, he's not around, is he? I think he's in the bedroom. Unfortunately, his speaker doesn't work, but he was only 100 yen as well. Yeah, and that was it for Japan. I didn't spend quite so much on games this year. I didn't come back with quite so many games. I should be getting, I think it's 7 more in this box, but they're mainly small, I think handheld games. I know I remember picking up a Digimon game for the Wonder Swan. Probably a few more Game Boy games, stuff like that. Oh, I think I picked up Parappa the Rapper, Biohazard 2, Ape Escape, and then Digimon. That's 4, so there's 3 other games in there that I'm just not quite sure what they are. Probably handheld games because they're lighter and smaller. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that pickups game. Hopefully this wasn't too loud and you can still hear me. It's quite loud from what I can hear. And apologies for this super long video, but there's some more coming. I've recorded them now, so hopefully they'll be put up at some point. Anyway, I'll see you guys soon, and hope you have fun gaming. Bye.